April 22nd, 2025. 26 innocent tourists gunned down in cold blood. Families torn apart, lives shattered. Make no mistake, this wasn't a random act of violence. This was a calculated, cold-blooded terror strike orchestrated by Pakistan. A last-ditch attempt by a failing state to stay relevant. While Islamabad denies it, every outcome, from the timing to the targets, it all screams one thing. This was Pakistan's doing. The Resistance Front is nothing more than a fake name, a proxy front for Lashkar-e-Taiba run from across the border. Pakistan today is isolated. The US no longer backs it. The Gulf refuses to fund it. Even China, its so-called iron brother, has grown cold after its citizens were killed in Pakistan. From Iran to Afghanistan, Pakistan is surrounded by hostility. At home, its economy is collapsing. Balochistan is burning and the Taliban has gone rogue. Desperate and cornered, Pakistan did what it always does: export terror. This wasn't just an attack on civilians. It was a strike at Kashmir's soul, its booming tourism industry. Hotels were full, the valley was thriving. The message was clear: normalcy had returned. And that's exactly what Pakistan wanted to destroy. General Asim Munir's venomous, jugular vein speech days earlier was no coincidence. It was a war cry, a signal, a trigger.
There's the thought that we are different from the Hindus in every possible aspect of life. Our religion is different, our customs are different, our traditions are different, our thoughts are different, our ambitions are different. That was the foundation of the two-nation theory that was laid there. That we are two nations, we are not one nation. So because of that, our forefathers, they struggled, mounted that incessant struggle to create this country. Our forefathers, they have sacrificed immensely, and we have sacrificed a lot for the creation of this country, and we know how to defend it. My dear brothers and sisters and sons and daughters, please don't forget the story of Pakistan.
India did not wait. Within 24 hours of the attack, it hit back. The diplomatic gloves are off. The Indus Waters Treaty on hold. The Atari border sealed. Pakistani diplomats and military staff expelled. SAARC visas scrapped.
From the soil of Bihar, I say to the whole world, India will identify, track and punish every terrorist.
This is India's strongest retaliation since the surgical strikes in Balakot. And the message is unmistakable. We will not tolerate terror or those who sponsor terror. Pakistan thought it could shake India's resolve. Instead, it's facing global condemnation. Even Kashmiris, the people Pakistan claims to fight for, have rejected this bloodshed. Shop shut, slogans rang out, tourists are our lifeline. What Pakistan doesn't understand is that the Kashmir of 2025 is not the Kashmir of 1990. This attack has only united Indians. Across the country, protests broke out. And the cry was loud and clear: Pakistan Murdabad. Surgical strikes, air raids, missile salvos, all options are on the table. Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed that India will identify, track and punish every terrorist and their backers, and that our spirit will never be broken.
ये हमला सिर्फ निहत्थे पर्यटकों पर नहीं हुआ है। देश के दुश्मनों ने भारत की आत्मा पर हमला करने का दुस्साहस किया।
India has the capability and now the will. Starting from shelling along the line of control to deep strikes in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, India's toolkit is ready. It will not stop at a warning shot. For too long now, India followed a certain doctrine: react only after a threshold is crossed. But what is that threshold? 10 dead? 20? 50? It ends now. Every life matters. Every act of terror will be punished. And Pakistan, the world's epicenter of terror, will be held accountable.